Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. This song is called Coalescence by Punch Deck. You know, to me, the song reminds me of a song back, I believe it was in the early 2000s called, it was by a band called Three Doors Down, and the name of the song is called Here Without You. Okay, so here's what I've done with this video. I've taken the third part of the last video because it really is that important, especially for empaths, because one thing I want to say is this. A lot of you think, oh, I just dealt with a narcissist attack. Let's say in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. No, you've been dealing with narcissists abusing you since you were a child. It's been conditioned into you. Because if it truly was just one person, it wouldn't have hurt that bad. You would have, in fact, not only that, if this was not already conditioned into you, that level of abuse that happened in the last one that really hurt, that it would have gotten that far. Because if you were growing up in a very normal, healthy life, dealing with people that were normal and healthy, you would look at this person like, wow, there's something wrong with them. And that's what it finally took for you, for someone to push it to that extreme, to literally treat you like you were a slave. So if you were raised in a 90% healthy environment, friends, family, teachers, students, classmates, etc., co-workers, if someone came along that at that level, you would have recognized it within probably hours to a few meetings. You'd be like, wow, there is something just not right with this person. But because it was see, here's what it was. Over the decades, years and years, it was normalized to where you received abuse little by little, here and there, and you just thought, well, this is just the way life is. This is just the way people are. So the gist of this video is they conditioned you to feel small, to where you don't deserve anything, and you're like, hey, I don't want anything, just leave me alone. The problem with that is you just gave them everything, and thus they feel like, well, I didn't win anything, I didn't get anything out of this battle, because there was no battle, and therefore they come after you even more. I'm going to teach you a secret on how to flip the tables when it comes to this, and how to get more of what you want and make them feel like they got everything even though they got a lot less. Alright, part 3 starts in about 3 seconds. Trust me, being the aggressor when it comes to a narcissist is the correct thing to do. Okay, this is part 3. This is something I learned in argument and debate class. One thing we learned from narcissists is we get conditioned into feeling like we're nothing. So this is wrapping all the way back to the beginning of this video. They make you feel like you're unworthy, you don't deserve anything. They condition you to believe or to be small, like you don't deserve anything, and that's really what it is right there. This is my former kickboxing and boxing coach, Jacob Stitz Duran, probably the best cut man ever in the mixed martial arts and boxing, kickboxing world. He was just inducted into the not only the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, but also the Boxing Hall of Fame of the world. 2 different inductions that just happened. Does he look like he's playing it small? No, he went for it. He literally went to the top. He kept saying, he goes, I'm going to the top, Mikey, I'm going to the top. And he would say it to all of us. Another thing, and the funny thing is we knew it, like we could see it, like something about this guy. It's because he had a direction and he went for it. And he did not play small. There's something that he did for me, and I didn't really understand until about 5 years ago. He would always say, you're awesome, Mikey, you're awesome, you're awesome. And I remember in the beginning, I was just like, no, I'm not. He says, Mikey, you are. And I almost even felt guilty, like I was unworthy of it when he kept saying that to me. But because I was with him for about 7.5 years, it actually sunk in. I say it to myself all the time now. And if someone gets mad about that, I know right away that's a narcissist. And I'll someone say, man, that was really cool what you did. It's like, yep, that's because I'm awesome. Or I'll say, I know, right? I'm awesome. I am telling you, if they get pissed off at that, well, who do you think you are? It's like, what's your problem? I didn't say you were a loser. I didn't say you're a bad person. I said nothing negative. I didn't attack you. Like, so why are you being so aggressive towards me? The minute someone gets negative about me saying that I'm awesome, I know right away that is a narcissist. Boom, they just revealed themselves. Okay, so part 3. So I don't like to negotiate. I don't like argument and debate, etc., etc. I can't stand to argue, and I won't do it. So here's what happened. I took speech 1 because it was a requirement for college. You had to take it. So I said, F it, I'm going to get it over with and do it. And I did very well. The very last 5 weeks, we had to do some argument and debate competitions at the end of the week. And I won all of them. So what happened was, towards the very last week, my teacher says, hey, Michael, you know, the argument debate team needs another person, and I want you to join the team. I'm like, I don't know, no. She goes, oh, think about it. And then what happened was she ran into me in the hallways of the college because I was looking for certain classes in between semesters, like the week before you buy your books and all that stuff. And she goes, Michael, are you going to join the team or not? I need to know. I'm like, no. I don't like to argue. I don't want to argue. She says, no, you're going to join the team. Blah 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 blah. And I said, yeah, but I don't like to argue. And I forget what I said. And then she kind of did a reframe, and I went, oh, really? She goes, yeah. So I ended up joining the team. Oh, I know what it was. I said, I don't like to argue. She goes, oh, well, then you really need to join the team. I'm like, what? She goes, if you don't like to argue, you need to learn what the people are doing that bring you into arguments so you can get out of them. I'm like, oh, okay. So all of a sudden she took something I hated and turned it into an empowering thing, and it actually worked out very well. Okay, so this client that I worked with, she's essentially, again, we were made to feel small. There's a reason why I keep bringing this back. So she's about to go through a divorce. She's going to get a lawyer. She's terrified. She doesn't know what to do. And she literally told the guy, look, all I want is my daughter. You can have the home. You can have the businesses. You can have everything. I don't want nothing. Just leave me alone. And I'm like, no. From an empath's perspective, you'd think, yeah, that's a really good thing because then they're going to take it. No. They're not going to take it because narcissists are very left brain, and left brain is push energy. That's male energy. Okay? So the way that they communicate, talk, deal with things is push. And if there's no pushback, then they're just like, well, I didn't get anything. And you're like, what are you talking about? You got everything. I gave you the house, the keys, the cars, the businesses, everything. They're not going to see. The left brain has to feel like it won, like it got a victory. I said, by you doing that, you not only did you give everything up, now he's going to come after your child. So until he feels like there was a competition and we both pushed each other around, until he has that physical, energetic experience, he's not going to feel like he got anything out of it. And you're like, wait a minute, he's going to feel like he got zero, even though you literally gave him 100% of the money, the house, cars, kids, everything. They're going to have to come after you for something because they have to feel like they battled it out. So what you want to do is you want to go for everything. And I'm going to teach you or explain what happened to me in the argument and debate that taught me this. And also, it's something I learned from energy healing. If I didn't learn this from energy healing and recognizing energy, I wouldn't even be able to understand it myself, let alone be able to teach it to you right now. So one piece is male energy, which narcissists are. They're very, very, very left brain. Okay, so it's push, and it's victory. I have to beat you. Or I have to get something out of this, even if it's only having a competition. See, to them, everything is a competition. That's left brain thinking. See, without the competition, without the battle, they don't feel like anything happened. So they're like, well, I got to fight for something. Then they're going to start looking for something else. And like, wait a minute, you just gave everything up. You started negotiating at 0. No, you're supposed to negotiate starting at 100. See, without the competition, they feel like you owe them something, okay? And it's a really weird thing. You're thinking, but I just gave them everything. But not on an energetic, emotional level, they don't feel that. They feel that they got 0 and it's going to piss them off. In other words, there's no completion. Their circuit, their cycle never completed. It's like, hey, we're supposed to do A, B, C, D all the way to Z, and we didn't even start at A yet, so come on, let's get this going. It's like you wrote a song, produced a song, recorded the song, but you never played the song. Alright, I'm just going to say it. It's literally like you never had sex, and then you never had an orgasm. So literally it's like something's missing, like there's no completion. By the way, this is my coach, and this is the World Boxing Hall of Fame. The first one was Nevada. So here's what I learned. So my teacher convinced me to do this competition. It was the day before. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to join the team. She convinces me to do it, and she goes, oh, well, it starts tomorrow. I'm like, what? Because I thought I'd have a little bit of time to kind of weasel my way out of it, because I really didn't want to do it. I don't like to argue. And so, now here's the funny part, though. I'm really, really good at it. So here's what happened. I showed up the next morning, and it was early. I think it started at 8, and we had to be there at like 7 or 7:30 to sign in, okay? So I had to get up at least at 6 o'clock, drive, not too far. It was actually fairly close, about 15 minutes away. And I signed in, and here's the deal. She never told me how to do it. She never told me what the rules are. She never said, oh, well, here's the game and this is the rules. They never taught me shit. So next you know, I'm signing in, I'm waiting around, and I'm just thinking like, I assumed we were going to have like a pre-meeting thing and they were going to explain the rules. Oh, no. They said, okay, here you go. So-and-so and so-and-so, you guys sit at this table. There's like about 10 or 12 tables in a big round circle. And you went from one table to another. One guy would just sit there. In fact, I was the guy who sat at my table. And then the other side, they would shift to table after each competition. So we got sat at the tables. And again, I'm thinking, well, before we start, they're going to explain the rules. And they're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. They gave some very basic rules. I think that the time limit is 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be given a paper and you're going to go. So I'm like, well, when are we going to go over the rules? They're like, you don't know the rules? I'm like, no. So I looked at my teacher like, hey, like, what am I supposed to do here? She goes, well, you just negotiate. I'm like, negotiate what? What are you talking about? And so someone went around and put a paper down for each table. And essentially one of you would be the one who has the money, and the other one had something like maybe corn or something that you were going to sell, right? Or tractors or whatever. And you had to negotiate. And so I literally had no idea what was the goal, what was the end result, like what were we trying, I didn't know. So what happened was, I do remember them saying, when they're saying the time limit, because apparently the time limit can change at different competitions. I think this one you had like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, right, to come to an agreement. And the rule was this: you had to both sign your own piece of paper agreeing on the same amount, and if you didn't do it by the time the buzzer went off, you both got 0 points. So I was like, huh, okay. And so then what happened was the guy, okay, because I blurted out that I never did this before, I don't know what the rules are, everybody in the room looked at me like, oh, you're like the number one target. I'm going to get my most points off of you. So what happened was the guy goes, okay, here's what I want. I want 100% of everything you have, and I'm going to give you 0. I was like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, where in the world do you go and you buy something and you don't pay for it? I go, no, dude, that's bullshit. So at least I had this common sense. And he goes, no, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to sign. I'm like, fine, then I'm not going to sign either. I don't give a shit. Now, I was actually intimidated. I was scared, and I just wanted to go home. I did not want to be there. So because I suddenly stopped, like, no, I'm not going to do this, his teacher came up and said, look, if you don't sign this, you're going to get 0 points. It's better to get 1 point than nothing. So it was 1 point to 10 points that you could get total. And what I learned from her was, if we met in the middle, he got 5 points and I got 5 points. So that would be 50-50. So I'm literally learning in the middle of a competition. So then I think he said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 1 and I don't know, one might have been $100. So let's say he had $1,000. If I got all of his money, I got 10 points. So whatever it was, let's say it was 1,000. I don't know what it was. He goes, I tell you what, I'll give you 100, which would mean I got 1 point and he would get 9. I was like, no, dude, that's not fucking fair. Screw you. He goes, well, all right, I tell you, I'll give you 8 or 2 points, or 200, and that way he would get 8, I would get 2. I was like, no, screw that. I'll go, you know what, I'm not doing this. Because one thing I realized, the teacher had said, if you get 0 points, you're going to lose and you're going to be out of the tournament. And I'm thinking, oh, really? Oh, cool. Fuck this. I don't want to be here. And I said that out loud, and the kid looked at me and was like, what? No, you got to sign it. And I'm like, no, I don't. And I go, I don't want to be here. I want to lose. But I didn't quite put together. They did say it, but then he was making his point like, look, dude, I can't get any points if you don't sign. You have to sign. See, if we both don't sign, neither of us gets points. So then I was like, I got it. So then I go, I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you 1 and you give me 9. He's like, no, that's not fair. So I was so pissed because the guy was obviously being disrespectful to me and taking advantage of me and trying to really like rip me off. I did not give a shit. It's like, no, that's the deal. Take it or leave it. I'm telling you right now, if you don't take 1 point, you're going to get 0. Now, this kid wanted to win. I didn't. I didn't even want to be here. And thus, I found my edge. That kid was freaked out. They're like, okay, 15 seconds to go. And I looked at him, I'm like, dude, we have to have it physically. I go, if you don't sign, I'm not signing. And he goes, all right, fine. He signed it. And I signed mine. We had to flip pages and sign it. We barely made it by like 2 seconds. And I'm the only one in the room with 9 points. So literally not giving a shit is your power. I did the same thing in football, boxing, and kickboxing. I literally would not stop. You would have to break my legs. I'm serious. This is literally what I tell people. Like, look, the only way I'm coming off of that field is if you break my legs or break my back or break my neck. Other than that, I'm not coming off that damn field, and I'm going to take your head off. I did not care. See, it gives you advantage because you don't hold back. Like, I didn't give a shit. I really did not care. You were going to have to literally kill me in order to beat me. Otherwise, you're going to suffer. In other words, my foot was on the gas pedal 100%. It was not on the brakes. And that's the difference between those who do and those who don't. Take your foot off the brake and put it on the gas pedal and go. So here we are in the tournament, and now they had to shift one table, okay? Because I just happened to be the side of the table that was chosen to stay, and the other side they had to shift one table, so it went round in a circle. So the next guy came up, and he did the same damn thing. He knew I was the new guy. He heard me say that thing out loud. I don't know how to play the game. I don't know what I'm doing. And he goes, okay, I tell you what, I'm going to give you 1 point, and that's it. Screw you, blah, blah, blah. He was this cocky, arrogant dick, and I looked at him and go, I'm not going to sign. He goes, wait, what? You have to. No, I don't. I'm not going to sign. I don't care. And so what happened was he starts complaining to his teacher, and she comes over, hey, you can't. And I looked at our teacher and go, is she allowed to interrupt her and get involved in a negotiation to help him? And she goes, no, that's against the rules. You guys can get disqualified for that. And the teacher immediately walked out. See, before I never would have spoke up for myself, but because these people were being such dickheads to me, my respect for teachers, professors, the rules went out the fucking window, and because of that, I won. So I did it to the next guy, and I flat out told him, go, look, dude, I'm telling you right now, I don't care. This is what I said. I said, this is my first time doing a tournament. My teacher convinced me to do it. I don't want to be here. I don't care if we get 0 points. So I gave everybody 1 point. That's all I gave everybody, and I won the tournament by far. In fact, nobody has ever won a tournament by that many points. I was the first person to ever do it. So the last group, and it was a group of narcissists, they were paying me all kinds of money for my business, for my courses, etc. And when I started realizing they were doing this narcissistic shit and what they were doing, I was like, I'm done. They're like, wait, no, but we'll pay you this much money. I said, I don't care. I'm done, and I walked away. I will never go through nightmares like that because of money. It's not worth it. And here's the deal. It gives you your freedom, and your freedom is what allows you to win. Okay, so here's what happens now. This is going to seem like a reverse, but it's really not. You have to understand the narcissist mentality. They have to win. Or you have to let them believe that they won. Watch this. So in this situation, this client of mine, she was basically saying, look, I just want my kid. You can have the house, the businesses, the money, everything. I just want to go. Just leave us alone. And I'm like, no. You're see, it's not reverse. Okay. She was operating from 0, whereas I was operating from 100. In other words, I was like, hey, I don't care if I lose, which gave me 100% of the power. So all of a sudden, these guys did care if they lost. Okay, do you get it? So they're like, whoa, no, you can't do that. I'm like, I don't care. We're both going to get 0 points. I was operating off of full power because everybody in that room, their ego wanted to win so badly. They basically wanted first, second, or third. And if they got 0 points, even at one table, that meant there was no chance that they were even going to place. And because of saying, I don't care if we both get zeros, I was arguing from a place of absolute power. So I explained to these guys, look, I'm doing this to every single person, so you guys are all going to be on an even playing ground, so you're all going to get second or third place, so you have a chance for that. I go, but if you get 0 points, you won't get any place. So I was arguing, see, it sounds like 0, but I was arguing from 100, from 10 points, from the top. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you 1. And then they're like, oh, okay. In the last 10 seconds, they would sign. Arguing from 0 would have been giving them 9 points, and I got 1, because that's what they wanted to do. In fact, essentially, the first guy's like, no, I'll take all, you get 0. And I was like, screw that. So what I had to help her understand is this, is you have to go for everything. You've got to go for the whole house, and that you want all the businesses, and you want all the money in the bank accounts and the savings account, etc. And you want alimony and child support for 18 years. And she's like, oh, he'll never go for that. I go, he's not going to go for it. But now all of a sudden, you're operating from 10, and he's going to try to get 2 or 3 or 4 points. Okay, so now instead of him getting 90% and even 100%, now he's fighting for about 30% or 40%, or if he's lucky, 50%. And if he gets 30, 40%, he's going to feel like he completely won. Whereas before, you're willing to get 0 of anything, and now you're getting 50 or 60% of everything, which was equivalent of me giving them 1 out of 10. So what if they get 2 or 3 or 4 out of 10? You still win. And the real goal and the real purpose is to keep your child and to get this guy out of your life for good. And on top of it, it's all cherry and icing on top of the cake. You get extra money, you get child support for 18 years, you get this, you get that. Everything's gravy after that. So to wrap this up, the main purpose of this was to help you to understand, like, if you give them everything right off the bat, they didn't have an emotional, physical feeling of a battle, and therefore they're like, well, shit, I didn't get anything out of this. And you're like, wait a minute, I gave you everything. Logically, they might understand that, but on a deeper, like, on their predator brain, it's almost like they never went on the hunt, they never stalked the prey, and they never went after it and caught it and killed it and ate it. They have to have that experience. So now instead of you giving them everything, and they're still going, well, fuck, I don't got nothing, then they're going to go after anything, including your freedom, your child, anything. And they're going to feel like they're in the right, like they're righteous, that, hey, well, I didn't get anything. You're like, what? I gave, even your friends, your family, their friends, I'm like, what are you talking about? You got the house, you got the kids, you got the car, you got the money, you got the business. Like, what are you talking about? You got everything, but they don't feel it on a physical level. So that hunter system that they have, that predatorial system, needs to complete its circuit. Once it completes its circuit, it will move on So let them fight for the scraps. And then when they win some scraps, they feel complete. They had the battle, and then they walk on. And you get everything, including your emotional freedom. I am a goddamn genius. And I am awesome. I highly suggest you start saying that to yourself. Oh, and by the way, the teacher, the professor, Janine Whitesell, she looked at me and she just said, "You're a genius." So we went up against Stanford, Berkeley, UC Davis, Sac State, and I forget whatever school in other tournaments, and I won every tournament. Hey, this is Mike Kollin. If you want to be awesome, click that subscribe button, click the like button, make a comment. And if you want, go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. And if you really do want to take steps to become awesome, sign up for one-on-one coaching, buy my book, Cracked Female Code, buy the women's book, Why Men Just Don't Get It, and or show up at one of the internal awareness and emotional grounding classes. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.